Okay, jump right into it.
Let's do it, man.
Okay, welcome to another episode of Positivity. Thank you, everybody, for being here and continuing to keep us the number one podcast. I feel very honored, and I'll share my number one trick, which is to just be consistent. I think that's amazing, and Motty knows a lot about that. So, help me introduce a guest, Motty Kenigsberg, a coach, someone that helps actively zehnliche Menschen, and between the workshops that you do, hinderte Menschen, or maybe by now tausende Menschen, to somewhat feel more alive in life, I should say, and be more consistent and go through hardships, or just a regular to have you as a friend. And I think you know a lot about healing and how people can get through in life from your own experiences and from what you've learned, years and years of information and knowledge and schooling that you did in some form of learning and whatever. So I'm very excited. I asked you a few times already to come up, and being that you don't even live here, it didn't come out until now, but now Baruch Hashem it happened. So Mati, welcome to Positivity. Okay, and the main sponsor, 3M Vitamins. For this one I'm excited because ich allein nehme a multivitamin jeden Tag. Favus, because I learned, especially in growth and in healing, as the most beautiful way to sein healthy and stark is to nemen natural vitamins. A lot of people that I know, Menschen, was ich respect, nemen vitamins, and I joined on that train. Jetzt ich nicht gewusst, aber das so gering zu bekommen vitamins, and it's just a message or a phone call away to my gitter Chaver David Isaacson from 3M Vitamins. You send them a message, free delivery to all over, any kind of vitamin. If you need a consultant, einer soll dich helfen mit der Seite, wo es ist, at the dust, he will help you at the hospital. And Kinder, you want to give them chewable vitamins, was health for focus, he will also help you with that. So it says Gringeheit herausreachen, and when you mention Weber or Positivity, you get 15% off. That's a beautiful discount. So the information is 732-942-7200, 732-942-7200. Again, David Isaacson will help you with any kind of vitamin that you need to stay healthy.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. It's been back and forth for a while.
Yeah.
I think at one point we thought we would do it in Mexico, or I thought we'll do it in Mexico.
Yeah. I remember you said that.
But yeah, I'm glad that the timing worked, and there's no better time than the time that actually works. And sometimes it's hard to trust that in life.
Yeah.
Right? We all know it conceptually.
Yeah.
That if someone dear told me something interesting, that when we wait, we anticipate for something to happen, it feels like a long time. But when it finally happens, saying ganze you, it is very gunish.
Right.
So
yeah, I noticed that with dating. It's like when you think you found the right one, like it doesn't. Like you said, I'll tell you why. Because psychologically, it's like a deja vu moment. What's my deja vu? What's deja vu meint?
Was?
Deja vu is when du bist in a moment and you feel like I already lived this moment. Hast du a feeling that this guy geschehen. And really, it's the brain messing with you in the moment. The brain is only telling you when that happens that, oh, we felt this already. It's not true. It's not, deja vu is not a real thing.
Right.
So the same thing is with.
It's not a real thing because everything is always new, in a sense.
Correct. So it's not just a zach via deja vu. It feels like deja vu.
It's a trippy thing because everything. It says Ankel Chudestachas Hashemish.
Right.
So everything is sort of a component.
Yeah.
A few components that come together, which are not new but new.
Yeah.
But you're saying that when it finally happens,
it's basically everything that happened up until now is completely irrelevant because the only thing that was the now.
Yeah.
So has gezicht farashidach, has nicht gezicht farashidach. You were just in the moment. You lived searching instead of knowing that you'll be finding. So that's as the Galains gemacht dan eigene misery. Legit. That's
assuming that misery is misery.
I think
it's assuming that the misery that, let's take dating, it's very, very difficult to be single, not 19.
Right.
I took noch 21,5, it becomes really, really tough. In certain circles. In other circles, I live in LA now, in other circles it's 30s, 40s, 50s. At some point it becomes really difficult. And it becomes, and that difficulty like afterwards, it's easy to feel like, okay, that was a waste of difficult energy.
Yeah.
And I'm not particularly in agreement of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm not particularly in agreement that any feeling is a waste of a feeling.
Yeah.
And I know this is controversial because the line is, what good is it going to do?
Yeah.
Wem hat es geholfen? What good is it to just sit in a rut?
Yeah.
I'm coming to realize that there isn't such a thing as a wasted feeling in the broader scheme of things and in the very personal
Yeah.
growth of my life.
Yeah.
Although my own relationship with myself last night and my stressors of overtired or getting to bed and whatever, and coming to this today feels like a big waste of my energy, but I
Right.
know it isn't. I know that it's a very valuable piece, even
Yeah.
for how this conversation is going to go.
Right.
My anxiety around being
Yeah.
in front of a camera has a value in the conversation,
Yeah.
and that's something that I think people have a really hard time to agree with or understand.
Right. That basically that it's okay. Jede Sache hat da
It has a
Platz.
specific intention.
Right.
Let's talk about dating anxiety, social anxiety. It feels like it has no point because we so want to be on the other side where it's finally good,
Yeah.
while there's so much juice in the actual experience of difficulty.
Right.
And the tzaddikim haben das gewusst, aber wir nicht das gewusst.
Yeah. Exactly.
And David HaMelech geschrieben a ganze Tehillim explaining his anxiety.
Speaking of being healthy, I've seen their ads and I was curious to learn what's all this kosher skinny shots. Was ist das? So I learned, so du ein Mann, heißt Mil Ben Yoma Weiss. He himself is a nutritionist, owns a medical clinic and a vitamin store. And wenn gehet von der Manjuro shots, hat gesehen, that this is etwas, was man kann sich verlassen auf, and that it actually helps with weight loss. Menschen strugglen, weight loss, I know from my personal own journey with weight loss, wie schwer sie ist zu verlieren weight and wie wichtig sie ist zu verlieren weight. And this is a tool that can help you get there. With this tool, you can lose about 10 pounds a month. You can still eat whatever you want, but your appetite is a little bit less. So that's why you're going to eat naturally less food, while it's not going to be a struggle for you. So Kosher Skinny Shots, they have a team, trusted people that you can speak to and just get into a conversation with them and see if it's for you. The number is 845-409-8278, 845-409-8278, or if you want, you can get more information at Kosher Skinny Shots. Mention Weber for a special discount.
Yeah, you know, I started learning Tehillim.
I love
I
that.
started made a chavrischaft with my brother.
I love that.
Every day, leent man a kapitel. Do you know was dit zich daar? Kapitel bijs daar, was I read dort about how there's so many sonim, but God is gonna protect me.
Yeah,
Like
imagine the anxiety. And deze is sonim.
Ja, this is
Deze
real
is sonim of social media. En je zegt, comment. Deze is Zweden. Deze is Zweden.
Yeah. So, Motty, I like in the first few minutes to get a little bit of a background. Mention here knows the podcast. I have a tremendous amount of listeners. Can I know that?
Wow.
And I have a sach listeners.
Congratulations. It's
Yeah,
a
thank
beautiful
you.
thing.
Thank you. I'm humble when I say it, but ich weiß, ich wakker in mijn Park and the amount of jingelatlich, bucherimlich, or even young girls that just listen to the podcast and send in messages. Like you can hear clearly that it's, you know, and that's why I try to keep it like, you know, PG to the most of it. Like at least, ik niet in language and this. No, it's like, no, let me just keep it zolzana shir wie me schmiest. But my point is that there's a lot of people, and I'd like to introduce to them, okay, where is the guest? Meaning, so where did you grow up a little bit? What do you do in your own words? Ich maak mijn eigen introduction, but that's based off what
It was so good. I was ready to jump right into it.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So, where do you want to start?
So tell us, first of all, where you grew up, and
Yeah.
Hasidish fully,
Yeah.
and you moved away. Tell us a
Yeah,
little
sure.
bit about your story.
Yeah, but you can ask questions and direct it, okay?
Okay.
Because it's
Okay.
accumulating with the years.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like a hate of vine. It's like yesterday, so I might not remember if there's anything interesting along the way that you and your listeners would appreciate.
As an entrepreneur and a business owner myself, I know the struggle of not having your books organized. And I know the freedom that comes with having a bookkeeper that is responsible, professional, helps you plan a budget, has the clarity when it comes to the numbers and is available for you directly whenever you need. And this is where Mrs. Bleich from Bookwise comes in. An individual that has a lot of experience with helping many, many Yiddish businesses out there. You get a unique, personalized experience, and your business will have the clarity. If you don't know where your money is coming or going to, it's impossible to grow. So for the right growth in your business, get the right bookkeeper and reach out today to Mrs. Bleich from Bookwise. The information is info@bookwisenewyork.net. That's the email address, or the phone number to call is 845-372-3591, 845-372-3591. She will help you with all of your needs in the bookkeeping field.
But yeah, I grew up in Borough Park.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Babiv. When there
Okay.
was one Babiv.
Right.
Stolz.
Right.
And I'm not originally Babiv. My father became Babiv as a teenager. My background is Israel. My
Okay.
grandfather is Yerushalmi.
Wow.
My grandmother is 10 Deutis, 12 Deutis Yerushalmi, a famous Yerushalmi nomen.
Yeah.
So Jakobson is a pretty... so my father became Babiv as a teenager. So when I was born, I was born in Israel,
Yeah.
in Tel Aviv. And for medical reasons, my parents came to the U.S.
Okay.
Specifically revolving my birth.
Okay.
And they stayed. They didn't plan on staying here,
Right.
but they stayed here.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that, I don't know by exactly how old, but I think after my bris, before my Pidin Ben, I was left in Israel. And my parents came for some doctor's appointment or something.
Mm-hmm.
And the story goes that one morning, when Elal arrives at 5 in the morning, one morning, 10 to 6 in the morning, my mother had a knock on the door, and my grandmother brought me her newborn, my mother's first newborn, which is me, and that's how I ended up in this country.
Oh, wow.
My whole family is Israeli, both sides even.
Oh.
My mother is Belz,
Okay.
and my father is Yerushalmi, but both sides, most of them live in Israel.
Right.
And that's me in New York. They
Yeah.
moved in Borough Park, and that's where I grew up my whole life. I basically, most of my years, I was in Babiv, from like the Dalit, I think, and up until I got married the first time.
Yeah.
And I considered myself a goody-goody
Yeah.
in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know how it was perceived to others, but I always had good relationships with I found a mashgiach that I can go deep with and dig with, and I always liked digging.
Right.
I remember I had one.
So that's what I was gonna ask. Like, how did you get into the whole depth of stuff?
So I wasn't happy with what I was told ever.
Uh-huh.
I was very bothered. I felt unhappy with who I am.
Right.
I felt in pain for most of my life, and it's not the trauma is a big conversation.
Yeah.
But for the most of it, I don't have a crazy childhood story. Besides that, I had a crazy childhood.
Right. Why was it crazy?
Upside down. I was crying a lot. I was always unhappy.
You were born into a trauma. If there was health things, right?
So that's a story for my mother to say, but it's it's a pretty significant story.
Okay.
The chlal that I was born is something I learned just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Actually, that the odds for me being born is very low. So that must have that must have something to do with my screwed upness.
Yeah.
I actually was always looking for. There's they joke that it's like jeder trauma, so there's something that I can live with.
Yeah.
But they was habenish. Like someone needs to care for them too, like So obviously I dissected and I understood it throughout the years that my personality placed inside a certain environment is difficult, and then family dynamics and friend dynamics and system dynamics, and there's a lot of there, but I want to move away from my traumas particularly just into the fact that I was very unhappy with myself. I felt always like I'm not good enough to an extreme. I was the one person in a whole classroom that has a feeling. Like jeder fühlt nicht and ich fühl ja.
Yep.
And I was a hypersensitive child. Now I know I wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
But I was convinced I'm the only one.
Yep.
29 kids in a classroom, 4 classrooms a grade.
Yeah.
That's 100 plus kids. I'm the one that has a feeling.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to do fine.
Right.
Besides me.
And nobody's there to validate it.
Yeah, I mean, again, my mother, it's complex, but yeah, the school system wasn't there to validate it. The society wasn't there to validate it. It wasn't a thing to go to therapy. If I think of a time where that wasn't a thing, a feeling was what's meant a feeling? What does
Yeah.
that even mean? So, yeah, so I grew up, and I was saying that whenever I found a mashgiach or melamed that was a little more open, specifically in my early teens, I clung to him very strongly. So I remember there's one, I'm not going to name his name, I'm a kinder, but he was the one that introduced me to Rambam and to Made,
Oh,
and he
wow.
showed me a deeper layer of Yiddishkeit outside of the class curriculum. I remember even when there was I can really not say his name, but I remember there was sexuality
Yeah.
and balagan happening in classrooms. I would
Yeah.
be able to have a conversation with him about it in a
Yeah.
not an awkward, creepy way, in a
Right.
very normal way. He would tell me Bucherim was gein dorech Sachen.
Right.
He was able to look at me in the eye and talk to me like a person.
Yeah.
And somehow he's very logical. I was
Yeah.
chavrisa with him later for many years, and somehow he was able to. But that was when I was already probably 16 or 14.
Yeah.
But up until then, I was always seeking for someone that can talk to me straight,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
And yeah, I think a lot of my life was visions when I was younger. I hope to explore the world. I hope to go out. I
Yeah.
really wanted to sit with a tribe maybe one day, sit on top of a mountain and meditate.
Yeah.
So a lot of what I've done throughout the last 20 years of my adult life was in those months and years of sitting in Cheder Yeshiva and not knowing who I am.
Right.
Just the dream of something else sort of
Yeah.
was very alive for me.
Right.
Like one day I will, one day I'll drive a big coach bus, and I did.
Yeah.
I was a trucker at one point,
Oh, wow.
so I did that. So it was a lot of me manifesting or visualizing. I didn't know at the time that that's what I'm doing, but it's in the
Yeah.
classroom, warten, the Zage is gekriegen.
Yeah.
At one point I was very close to Motty David, Ungar,
The Rebbe.
45th,
Yeah. Okay.
before he was a Rebbe.
Right.
He
right.
was a great inspiration.
I hear he's a good Rebbe, by the way. Gitz kann man sagen. I
Yeah.
heard that he's a good guy.
I don't know him today,
Oh,
and,
okay.
and you know, sometimes I don't know him today, but I
Yeah.
knew him very well back then. Want a good story?
Yeah.
Okay. So in yeshiva, Gedoyle, I smoked cigarettes.
Yeah.
Now I was on the phase of Capri. You remember that thing, the dinner lange
Yeah.
cigarettes, menthols, and I remember that he brought me in the summer, talking to me that I should try to quit. It's not healthy.
Okay.
So I told him I can't. I'm so addicted. I've been smoking for years at that point already.
Yeah.
Like packs and packs a day.
Yeah.
So
This is the Rebbe you told him to.
I think, yeah. So I knew him before he was a
Yeah,
Rebbe,
yeah,
but he
Rebbe.
became Rebbe. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was I think I was a chusen, I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
when he became Rebbe the first summer or something. Or I have to look back at the exact
Okay.
timelines.
Yeah.
But he was either almost a Rebbe or gewiss dabei Geizen Rebbe. This was his first year of Rebbister. I don't know.
Okay.
But he was a person of stature, let's say.
Yeah.
I got a
Respected,
gabe, whatever. Anyway, so basically to support me in quitting smoking, he told me, you tell me how much you want to smoke a day,
Yeah.
and you smoke that, but not more.
Okay.
Don't quit. So I told him, ik denk niet 10 cigarettes a day.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
chitzvah.
Yeah.
For me, it was like I go from 2 boxes to 10. That was hard. Okay.
Okay.
So he made a deal. The way I'm going to be in control, that is
Yeah.
he's going to hold my stash.
Wow.
And he's going to give me 10 a day every morning. Okay. So one day, ich stehe auf in the free, and I hear, as the Gabe, I don't remember who it was, the Gabe sieht mich.
Yeah.
I'm all like, okay, was some geteen? What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
So it was like after Shachris, like 9, 10 o'clock. He gives me an envelope. The Rebbe gave me the envelope. So it's an envelope stacked in an envelope and stacked in an envelope.
Om zo'n schap was
So,
er there.
and I'm like, what is in it? I hadn't the slightest clue.
Yeah.
I open up the envelope. I was like 10 capris and I say dinner because he had an emergency to leave camp.
Yeah.
And he made sure to remember
Dich
to
te
leave
geven
me
dan
the
de
cigarettes for
cigarettes.
the day.
It's a good person.
Is that wild?
It's a good tzaddik.
So I think throughout the years I clung to people
Yeah.
that had that kind of seeing me.
Yeah.
They were able to see me and
100%.
offer also answers for my questions. I had a lot of questions always.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. It reminds me, I had one Magachir who also saw in me that I can get hundreds on every test. And he did that to me. He pushed me and pushed me and pushed me. And for the rest of my life, I always know that if I really want something...
Where did you learn? Which
Skwer Geider, in Barapark, 43 and 14. But he made me know one thing, is that if I really
know
want...
that corner building. I
course.
grew up around the corner on
Oh, yeah?
42nd.
Yeah. But I always knew that if I really want, I can get
Wow.
to that 100.
So it wasn't my thing. I almost never got 100.
Yeah. No, I also
I'm saying I'm moving on from that.
yeah. I never enjoyed a beginner test or any of these things or whatever. And as I grow older, I noticed that the system, so to speak, system is better than I thought it was. Like it's not. So okay, wenn man so ein bisschen ungeweiht about this,
Vergessen.
but ich kann sich auch vergessen.
Wer ist der Ältere? Ist andere
Yeah.
Sachen matter.
Nein, but meaning to say that ich bin auch grateful for this. So it's like it's
That's
like
very,
different. Meaning,
that's very strong.
if you want to see the good, also wie ich gesagt, ich verzahl dich wegen Mama Gachir that I also hate the most. But I can also tell you a good thing that he did.
It's very beautiful that he saw that you're able to have
Yeah,
that
ich habe sich
100.
so again, mich gepusht in verschiedene Sachen. He pushed me to do the Tillam every Shabbos so mit it in square, and I did it for many years. And he
What do
pushed
they
me
do?
to the whole
What they-
going in mikveh every day.
What
or
did they do in Skver? What the hell?
Tehillim, man sucht Tehillim jede Shabbos of free.
Ganze?
Ganz Tehillim. Yeah, I can finish Tehillim in an hour, about an hour,
Wow.
10 minutes. Like I can jede Kapitel. Ich suchst a Kapitel, I can finish it.
Wow.
So I got good at it, but then again, looking back, is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? Ich weiß nicht. It is, right?
Probably both.
Yeah. No, and I'm saying it because I feel like, and this you need big shoulders for this, that there are many people, especially listening to the podcast, that they're not exactly sure. Sind ein bisschen zu mich. Da weiß ich habe nicht. Ich mache das gemacht, sei black and white. You know, I always tell my brother, du willst gewinnen an argument, make my argument better than your own and you'll win the argument.
Yeah.
And I feel like in Cheder and Yeshiva, sometimes they don't have that. If they only would say the opposite side, if they would only say the echte emes, instead of painting it just one way, I think alles wird das Sach besser matzliere werden. Give options, like you said, you were curious. That's all I was just curious.
Yeah.
So give me the whole picture. And then again, I understand for a kleinkind, maybe you can't give two sides. But once bist in yeshiva, why can't you tell me the real truth? Was darf sein sehr rigid and whatever. And
Do
again,
you think that the people in charge have any truth other than the one they told you?
yes, I know they do, because I know Mama Nal yeshiva der Zange sind nicht stark. They're a very smart person. He's the least of closed-minded people. So happens to be Eret Yah introduced a lot of warmth besides just the typical rigidness. Yeah, he's a good man now. By the way, he still calls me every
Have
now
him on
and
the
then.
podcast.
Maybe I don't think he'll want to, but I'm
Don't
saying.
tell him it's a podcast.
What I'm saying is, they mention Weissen.
That's interesting.
It's just man hat a bisschen moire, you know. I had my last podcast. Ich habe rausgelegt, it was a bisschen controversial. Somebody came, shared a story about his abuse and whatever. Ich hat a bisschen moire gehabt, das rauszulegen. And
was?
Fin zan controversial, zan different. Reden wegen a topic was keiner hat noch nicht geredet. The first time somebody comes out and talks about his abuse. And I got threats for it. But ich erschreck mich nicht. So maybe other people can also share a little bit more that would open up and set helfen Menschen, meaning the Wachstand auf mit Adar that is in a sense so exposed to information anyway. They're so rebellious anyway. Was darf es nehmen bis ich bin 28, als ich soll mich willingly herupsetzen lernen na Gemurre? Weil damals habe ich gechoose, was ich will. Und in Yeshiva hast du mich gelassen lernen na andere Mesechte. That's rigidness. That's rigidness. Dann ist angefangen eine andere Cipher beim Shir, which I can see the disrespect over there, but for was kann ich lernen etwas anderes? So meaning there is a little bit of rigidness. I think the rate it opens up. Man redt schon kommt 15 Jahre zurück. Ich sag schon wie alte Kacker, but man redt kommt 15 Jahre zurück. So I think things changed. You want to say something on that?
I think that there's a fundamental opinion within a lot of, and this is not only Hasidish, Litvish or Jewish, the Mormons and the Christians and the country clubs and a lot of different places have the same sort of idea about helping kids. And the idea is that if I give them too much choice, they'll pick the choice of breaking. They'll pick the choice of running away. They'll pick a rebellion.
Yeah.
And because I'm not talking about it again, I moved away from the abuse topic, which is a person that's sick.
Yeah.
I'm moving just from a general theme of how to raise kids or how to be mechanic.
Right.
Is that very often it comes from a place of shielding the person from the pain of rebelling.
Yeah.
They
But-
won't have the family. They won't have the support. They won't have the shidduch.
Yeah.
They won't have the numen.
Yeah.
They
yeah,
won't
yeah.
have the money. They won't have the support. And therefore, the rigidness to keep someone in lane,
Yeah.
which again goes with, I see that with the way my life has evolved. And I have a grootse boche.
Yeah.
He's turning 18. And I see what his choices are and what his exposure are. Minus Soyan on a day-to-day with his experiences of telling him being rigid with what I think is right for him is just as much as what you're describing with your manal or the Rebbe,
Right.
because I don't want him to hurt,
Right.
and I have to make a moment-to-moment decision to let him have both experiences.
Right.
And I'm calling it experiences, but we're talking when we're younger. It wasn't experiences. It was
Yeah.
it was a virus. It was
Yeah.
unscrewing the future, Zana Oswald, Zana Leidiger. It wasn't
Correct.
just experiences.
Correct. Ze chatten van
I named I name it experiences because
Yeah.
that's the way I look at it now. But
Yeah.
really, that's what it is.
Right.
It's like if your child goes on a bike that's a little bigger than the one that fits for him,
Yeah.
and you see him going down the street, and you see him that he's about to hit a tree. That's an experience that he's having.
Yeah. Right.
And for
right,
parents to have that coldness feels almost not okay.
Right. Yeah.
As a parent, was like I'm lozen naar aanvoelen naar boim.
Yeah.
I'm not proposing yes, but I'm also not proposing no.
No. Yeah. Right.
And I think that's overall a big thing in every community, in every sector. Can I let this child have the full spectrum of what's possible and look around?
Right.
Like I noticed that I'm sitting here for 15 minutes with you and I see there's fruit.
Yep.
And I don't think I would notice the fruits 15 years ago if I sit with you, because I would be hyper focused on
Yeah.
the anxiety I feel while I'm in front of a camera,
Yeah.
the conversation with you and where it's going, because the way to solve the problem of anxiety is to be very focused
Correct.
and very like don't look elsewhere. Kick
Yep.
off één zaak and you'll get through it and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
But what if? Now I guess that's a proposition. What if there is no danger or there's nothing wrong with laying out the cards and trusting, again, back to a child,
Yeah.
trusting that there's an internal compass or there's an internal movement towards good.
Right. Wow.
And if
Yeah.
I don't hyper focus on getting this right,
Yeah.
or if the kid doesn't hyper focus on getting the 100 or
Yeah.
that grade, if we don't hyper focus on, we can talk about anything in this idea.
Right.
If I actually allow myself to have the full variety of emotions, including the stress, including the curiosity, including what else is there, including the conversation with another, including asking questions, to trust that there's an inner, and I think that's what a neshama means. There's
Yeah.
an inner part that actually wants only good,
Yeah.
and there's no opposite to that.
Right. Right. Beautiful.
I feel it the shy git.
Yeah. Exactly. Beautiful. No, so I want to I was gewollt nog zielagen is that I do see the kind of phone calls that I get, and somehow people are reaching out to me. Almost every single day, I get a phone call from a bocher, a young teenager.
Is that
So many
your
people.
audience? You have
Yeah.
a lot of young viewers.
Yeah, and they call me, ze wollen verstaan. And for me, it begs the question, like, ich gehe ran in the place of being a unav, since ich halt klein, and ich frage, was mich? Sometimes I ask God, why me? Why put on me that responsibility that people should call me when they need chizik? Was soll nicht gerne gehen zusammen a Geschirr, zusammen this? And maybe today they do. Ich weiß nicht. Again, maybe ich would just leben my days. But if they're calling me an average podcaster, instead of getting their information from somebody that has, so to speak, more a caregiver, it raises a question. And when they call me, I always say, I can just listen to you. I can just give you advice van ein Mensch als zweiter. I begon me recalled, letzte Woche, 16 year old. Had crazy anxiety, and as he tries to navigate through the world, says hem schwer and Sachen. So my hope is that ook met deze podcast is to bring awareness, because I know there are thousands of people that are listening to this. So English speaking, Yiddish speaking,
every person,
adults, older
every
people,
person,
younger people.
Every single person needs a person that they can talk to.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
There's no exception to that.
Right. Yeah. Beautifully said.
To talk to could mean, like, some people will say everything.
Yeah.
Some people will say a little.
Yeah.
Some people, it varies in seasons.
Yeah.
But every person needs a person that they can talk to. And if someone sees this and they don't have someone create it, I know it's scary at first.
Yeah.
It can feel mamish like lion's den.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm gonna talk about how I feel, specifically if it involves shame.
100%. Yeah.
If it has sexuality or addiction,
Right.
or intrusive thoughts,
It hype me schon zu share.
it's very scary. Very scary to
100%.
let that first person in. And often teenagers, when they don't have an adult, they find solitude, and solitude is not a word in English. Try some fancy word, but they find. So I said I want to Google sometimes words.
Yeah.
But they find comfort in the arms of a friend.
Yeah.
They build that friendship.
Right.
And there's a book. It's a really good book, despite the title is called Toxic Parents.
Yeah.
It's not only about toxic parents, it's about what's healthy and what's unhealthy.
Yeah.
And it's a very fundamental good book to read. It's like a crash course in basic psychology. And one of the things she describes is that when a child doesn't have a caregiver to go to, then they find care among friends, but those are also kids. So imagine a kid is a parent, right? Imagine a 12-year-old has a child. That's
Yeah.
really what it looks like, which is nice to have that social connection.
But it's not
the
really.
closeness.
It's not gonna heal you.
It's not going to allow my identity to develop. It actually keeps feeding my lack in having an identity.
So then a relationship is good for you. It's then an opposite, I guess, of that friendship, basically.
What do you mean? Which
Meaning-
relationship?
A relationship with a spouse, with a wife, a marriage.
Yeah, I'm referring to your young viewers.
I'm asking, in a relationship, that is probably good. As far
to
as
what? To have the openness?
to have that a caregiver is, yes, listening to you, is, yes, caring for you.
You're asking if a spouse could be a caregiver?
Yes.
I personally don't think as a title.
Right.
I think we
No,
can
but can
care
they give
for
you
each
that
other.
care? Can they give you that care that you were missing in childhood? And I'm going over the book, Getting the Love You Want, where over there they describe it pretty good into categories, but I'm curious in your opinion.
So I think that as there's different realms in our engagement in life, in our consciousness, which means in our humanity and our human experience. There's different realms. There's the mind,
Yeah.
there's the heart, which is emotion, and then there's sensation, which is the body.
Yeah.
My guess is that you operate a lot from mind and emotion.
Yep.
There's another realm which is becoming more popular, which is the sensation, the whole somatic world.
Okay.
But even that, when it's the balance of the three, which really moves us forward. So if we talk about a spouse, let's say, taking a role of a caregiver to give that inner self the pieces that it was longing for, like what I was saying, that friends can't really give, right? To develop an identity, to feel heard, depends on what realm we're talking about. I think in the mind realm, there's like values. In the realm of mind, there's values. In the world of mind, to put as a structural, foundational role, this is my mother, would be very unhealthy.
Because it should be, this is my daughter.
This is my okay. That's another one. Let's put that on a. So we have like this shelf with a bunch of little tchotchkes and design like this. So look, okay, one is the mother.
Right.
We're talking about a wife, right?
Yeah,
one is the
yeah.
mother, one is the daughter, one is the buddy.
Yeah.
Right, my wife is my best buddy.
Best
That's the
friend,
thing.
yeah.
Friend, a chiller, specifically if the wife is understands me, let's say.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that one on its own, if this is on the mind realm, on the realm of mind, which is the values, the core value, this is what she is, it would be unhealthy.
Oh, I agree.
In the mind realm, this is a person that I get to be the best version of myself and express myself to, specifically as a man.
Yeah.
I think on the woman it's different a little.
Correct.
But as a man, if I turn my wife into one, is a trophy. It doesn't matter which trophy. A trophy for sexuality or for comparing or for whatever. A trophy for I found a mother trophy.
Yeah.
I have a dream mother fantasy of the perfect kind of person that doesn't really exist.
And there are plenty who are doing that. They're getting married to people 20 years older than them.
Yeah, so
Taka for them, for the mother figure.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, of course.
But again, it could be that the question is what their mindset around it. It could be that on
It's
another
exactly
realm,
this.
it could be on another realm, meaning as a couple, in the values of things, they actually don't see them as a mother, they see them as an equal. But on another realm, maybe in the emotional realm, there is a motherly son, a mother-child, a mother-son connection that actually somehow works for them.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't judge that. I wouldn't say that it's a judgment to say, as long as in the mind realm, in the values realm, there's a clear understanding of what this is, which is a relationship,
Yeah.
which is a place to be better, to show up, to give, to create safety as a man.
Yeah.
So I don't think these things are wrong. Experiences are not wrong,
Right.
right? Specifically, if we move into sexual experiences
Yeah.
and a lot of things could happen, and it doesn't turn the couple into dysfunctional. I think that on the like machshove dibra mase is sort of the way I look at it. If machshove is the world of thinking, and dibir is the world of words, which is feelings like happy, sad, scared are words,
Yeah.
would have an emotion, and masa's actions would be sensations.
Yeah.
I think on the world of machshove, of what's my values, it is important to make distinctions what a wife is and what she isn't.
Right.
To really be clear what she is here to do and what not. Otherwise, marriages go to hell.
Right.
They really have there's nothing holding it together because I turned her into some trophy mother or some trophy prize. And when she doesn't live up to the prize that I hoped she would be, I'm
Right.
very, very upset. Like, how could you be Moody? You're supposed to be my dream mother.
Right.
What do you mean you're having a bad day? You're supposed to validate me every day because I'm doing so much.
Right. And
You have
how
to
can
see
I
how
be
amazing I am.
Yeah, and how can I be a father to you? How can I be a giver if I was supposed to be a taker? Let me see if we're doing well here.
That's my CEO.
We're on. Oh, 33 minutes down. Okay.
That's my...
Still, I ga veel, we gaan van schon gaan de schmies nach. The question is, gemma ga goed en schmies. What is the role of a relationship? You've had your own experience in relationships,
Yeah.
and
So I was married at 19
okay,
in Bnei Brak. Had
Oh,
a
wow.
beautiful wedding.
Okay.
Lately, it's coming in waves.
okay,
I don't know why, but I remember it more vividly than I did a few years ago.
okay,
It was a beautiful venue, and it was a beautiful wedding. And my ex-in-laws are amazing. I still know them. We share a human, my son,
right,
their grandson, and so I was married for a couple of years, and then I was single for a couple of years, and then I remarried about 10 years ago.
okay.
So what were you asking about? What's about relationships?
So, ik wil eraan gaan zeggen, like we were speaking about the roles of
Yeah.
man and woman.
Yeah, it's a good question.
I want to discuss that, but ik wil ook het wissen, and this is clearly from mijn eigen experiences and wie ik ben in my life. I want to know what went wrong, what would you do differently, what's going right now in your, what's going good, or I don't know how to frame it, but what's the good thing in what's the good qualities in your current relationship that's keeping it good?
Yeah.
How did you live off the shame of, by the way, this is more like of a hypothetical question, because meaning how did you live off the shame of getting married and then it doesn't work out?
Yeah, so
Which
I
is
think
something that I think so many people have. I can see it for myself. It's
I think
like
1 year in my second marriage, I was like, so just to put some magnitude to it, I was after years of inner work and going to retreats already and therapy regularly, and I took already one longer course in one of the programs that I took, and then I got married in a year, and I was like, okay, this is not working.
Oh wow!
And I had an easier time.
The course is not working.
The marriage
is not working. Okay, wow.
I was a year in. I was like, this is not working.
Okay.
And I was in a place where I was willing to accept that I'm going to get divorced again.
Okay.
And it was easier than the first time.
Uh-huh.
The thought.
Right.
Because what I've developed, I guess, in my 20s, that was when I was 30 already.
Yeah.
Ish. So I think that one of the things that I really, really learned in my later 20s, as I was doing a lot of inner work and deep soul sheds. It was it's like skin shedding
Yeah.
inner work, really stripping layers of who I thought I was or who I thought I need to be or be seen as, is a certain kind of personal responsibility over my feelings.
Yeah.
And I really started realizing, which I'm still actively working on, day
Yeah.
off. Someone wants to hire me, someone doesn't want to hire me, someone is happy, someone is unhappy.
Yeah.
I'm still actively working on it, but the value that I really see as a before and after is personal responsibility. And I see self-help. This whole industry of feelings are all methods of taking personal responsibility over my life and my experience, my relationship, my marriage. And one of the reasons people are not interested in inner growth or talking to someone is because they don't want to be victims. And to
Yeah.
me, the whole idea of talking about feelings is to actually take personal responsibility,
Right.
including I am a victim.
Something-
I am a victim, and I'm taking responsibility over my victimhood.
Right.
I'm limited. Everyone is a victim.
Right.
So one of the big switches from my first marriage in my young 20s
Right.
is to understand that I'm responsible for my feelings.
Right.
And I really went through that through my divorce. Like the
Okay.
whole blame thing and famous faults
Right,
and
so
what I
what-
deserve and what I don't deserve.
So what happened there a year into the marriage when you were ready to accept that this is not working out? What changed?
It was a process. And there's something called process work,
Yeah.
which is not a one or the other. You know, everything we talk about, there's someone that can argue the other,
Yeah.
right? Unless they go through the process of 15, 20 years, 30 years. And, you know, I have clients, I'm honored to have people in my life that are 70s. I have a mentor that's in her high 80s. Maybe you'll
Wow.
podcast with her one day. I'll connect you.
Okay.
But you know, I have people that do process work for decades and decades and decades, and so then it's not. So what I'm sharing is not particularly an opinion that comes from, oh, I think I'm right. I understand that there's someone that can think I'm wrong, or that
Right.
thinks opening up emotions is wrong and it's not helpful, and what good is it going to do if Guide is helpful? What's the
Yeah,
point?
but I want to.
Yeah, what I'm saying.
What happened in that moment? Why did you think? I understand you went the process, but what happened? What did you feel in that moment? Did you feel stuck? Were you anxious? Was it something real? And you can choose to share how much you want.
You mean
But
in
this is just
that a
important
year
for me.
in, what was going
Yeah,
on?
yeah.
Oh, okay. So
that's
it
the
was
I
just
think-
it was just truly to shine the difficulty, the differences between me and my wife.
Okay.
You know, it was just hard. It was now looking back, regular stuff.
Right. Yeah. Obviously, it's
Conversation style, how I react to things, how she reacts to things, what she considers, I guess, normal, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
What I guess we were from worlds apart. My
And how
wife
did you
now
make
is
it
from-
work? Why? How did you make it work?
So what I was saying is process work, which means personal responsibility, which means to constantly go inward within myself and find the truth
Yeah.
that's bigger than the one I think, bigger than I'm right.
Right. Where are you from and where is she from?
So she is from Chicago,
Okay.
and I'm from Borough Park.
Right.
She is Chabad, but also Chicago Chabad, and my father-in-law's family is from Australia, which is within Chabad. It's a very open, very different than the Brooklyn, even not Jewish and not Hasidic. It's
Yeah.
a very different standard of mannerism,
Yeah.
of communication, of what's considered important and what's not, how you handle yourself. Like, are you in a rush at 7 o'clock to an event, or you can get there 8, 9 easy?
Yeah.
Like a lot of these little bickering things even felt it felt like very big. And
Yeah.
I think that one of the biggest transformations for me in my marriage, and Bechlal in life, is, if I have to take this process work and personal responsibility to specific for me, is that when someone is upset at me, to understand that I can be not good enough in something that I've done, and I'm still good enough as a person.
Wow.
I think that's a giant switch, and I think for men that's a very big one.
Yeah.
That if someone that I can do something not good, and I am still good.
Right.
Recently, someone shared with me something that he heard on a podcast about shame versus guilt. You know, and I think that I think there's a distinction to make between I'm guilty that I've done something that I don't like,
And shame
I'm
is
shame, my
I'm
core,
not.
I'm not okay. And I think when I can be okay, guilt is not a bad feeling.
Yep.
For many years, I believed that guilt needs to be X'd out from the dictionary,
Yeah.
because it's a way to extinguish a person, again with my fancy words that don't add up, but it's a way to make it, the person becomes non-existent.
Yeah.
Because you're so guilty, you're so bad, Yom Kippur, ungefragt, schlechte Jud.
Right.
But
Right.
when I discover that shame is the liar,
Yeah.
meaning core shame,
Yeah.
then I can actually tell my wife I'm sorry.
Right. Oh wow. Yeah. And for
It has
me,
been a switch for me.
yeah. Anything that make your relationship better?
It's one of the
Wow.
big ones.
Yeah. I noticed for me that almost every feeling that I have kind of leads back to shame, which is that let's say I'm anxious. Now I have shame about why I'm anxious.
Yeah.
So one of my best friends, Moshe Young, always teaches me. He's like, Ellie, jetzt makes the hope and anxiety. Meaning, a normale Mensch hat auch het anxiety jetzt. Like, says okay. Meaning, the
Yeah.
das nicht so shameful about the
Yeah.
hope and anxiety.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned to feel into, by the way, and especially in relationships. It's like,
Yeah.
says okay. And
Yeah.
the doubts and the questions about the relationship says okay.
Yeah.
So meint sich ben a Mensch.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think that's very important. I had a book called me. He's like, feels sich leidig and he's not doing anything. Says okay. That makes feeling leidig. There's no reason for those feeling fulfilled at 16 in the yeshiva with the Volson
You know that a lot of feelings when they become depressing, or depression is Yiddish, right? It's the same. I think it's the same thing. Depression in Yiddish is. Einer hat mal gesagt, dass in Yiddish ein Wort wie depressed. I'm saying depressed.
Yeah.
But in Sidua it's Yiddish, so just explain what depression is.
Right.
So I think that a lot of the reason why a difficult, heavy, negative shadow, whatever the word is, feeling becomes depressing is because we look at the feeling as an answer to a problem.
Right.
Why is this so hard? Because I'm not good enough.
Correct.
But really, we can take the I'm not good enough and turn it into a question.
Yep.
Am I not good enough?
Wow. Yeah. So Moshe Young loves to say, he always says, als ich mich schon bekackt, soll ich auch sein bekackt.
Right.
And I love this. And you know, jeder kann sagen, so er wohnt. Als ich mich schon depressed, soll ich auch sein depressed.
Efter is a question. Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, I'm also going to say clearly, ich will auch reden wegen dem, because you do work for people, a lot of work. You do years of work for the same person also. And what I want to say is that in the beginning, when I was depressed, and I had many episodes like that, it would take multiple months until it finished. Versus now, I'm going through that same cycle in a few hours, in a day, even in a minute. I can be depressed and come out of it. Yeah. Because I learned to not attach to not the thoughts and not even the feelings. Meaning a feeling is a feeling. Says, okay, it will pass. And I think this is wie the Arbeit kimt daran. For the average listener or teenager that listens to this, unfortunately, they don't always have the tools. And this is schwer. So the buche was feel depressed, is that actually it's depressed for Apucha Dusham because he doesn't even know how to deal with it. And he doesn't amplify the good moment, and he amplifies the bad moment. So Avada is depressed, and I think that can be very difficult for people.
Yeah.
Meaning, as me get nicht the tools for emotional regulation, me get nicht the tools as the hast a feeling makes the sich ausgeben.
Yeah.
It's very bad. When I was in yeshiva, when I was 14, when I was 14, habe ich mich integnemen nicht weinen. Like, what kind of stupid thing was this? Until at 24, so so geplatzt, I just cried. But can you imagine, for 10 years of my life, I didn't want to cry. I felt so ashamed of it. I felt so guilty about crying. It was something that I was upset about in yeshiva, the dormitory zimmern, and what I camp, and whatever. Like, and
how sweet.
So yeah. And so me gemacht feel shameful, and I said, everything ended up working out perfectly. And I told myself, we're never going to cry, because cry is a sign of not accepting God for who he is. And nobody ever told me, hey, it's okay to weinen. That was what I did.
I never heard that.
Yeah.
Crying is a sign of... I very relate to that crying is weak, and that crying is not something men do.
Yeah.
And the first time I went to a group... That's why I really like group work, and that's why I do offer a lot of group work.
Yeah.
Which yours truly is invited
to
you. Private group work.
Thank you.
I think
you're doing one tomorrow, no?
Tonight I'm doing something, but we have a lot of things coming up.
Yeah.
But I think that the excitement in group work is to actually see that these things that are perceived as bad, like very human, like crying or having a feeling or sadness, are so normal. Because if you have a room of 15 people,
Yeah.
or 20 or 50 at one point,
Yeah.
one retreat I worked for, it wasn't my
Yeah,
program.
yeah.
There were 40 something people.
Yeah.
And you have people with very wealthy, very young, very old,
Yeah.
very healthy, very sick. You have people of all kinds, all men.
Yeah.
And you start seeing that everyone experiences the same emotions.
Yeah.
It gives a validity.
Yeah. Yeah. You know,
That men do.
I was
men do
thinking
have.
I was thinking I would go with my partner. The question is deze jetzt ungefragt oder meint es dass es okay?
No, it is. Again, it depends.
So macht sense ich so.
The
I feel
question
like
is,
in that place I would feel more at ease at home. Like I know what this person can do for me, which is to very much make me feel calm and grounded, and also add meaning to things that I didn't feel so comfortable doing. Meaning to say that ich kann nicht lieb healing in a group setting. Because not that I ever tried it, by the way, but I don't like it because the idea is that ich enjoy to say I'm a private person. We discussed this.
yeah.
But then, so wie ich enjoy the ganze chasana, but ob gaich,
Yeah.
you understand, ob gaich mit my vibe eventually,
few
then what's
things.
what ich sehr enjoyed.
A few things.
So
First of all, about just starting with the last thing first, about your wife wanting to go when you can go with your partner. Again, it depends what's on the top of the structure, on the value system.
Wieso
If
sagst
the
du's?
value system is she is responsible for I should be comfortable, we're going to talk then.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Nah, ich say such a fun buddy.
You know,
I
but if you,
I see it as the meaning. It's like
Yeah.
wenn sie will ich kommen mit seiner chasana.
yeah, so if you have,
Schau, von was riefst du
Ja.
mich dort? Nicht, weil ich bin dann sehen, die riefst mich dort pink verkehrt, weil ich bin...
she holds you accountable to
Weil ich bin Kelly the
being,
caregiver.
Ja.
Ich bin the... You make
Ja.
me feel safe. So schau ich,
Ja.
von dem willst ich soll sein dort.
yeah.
Das feels sehr gut.
Yeah, so there's always I'm saying that there's room for a lot of things to happen.
Yeah.
It's just important to not turn it into this is the system.
Ja, ich
Right? There's a
verstehe.
room for a lot of opportunity to grow into together with a partner. It's okay, I'm going to do this when I'm going to travel the world when I have some. I don't want to travel solo.
Yeah.
Oh, if you would be more healthy, you would have traveled solo. Chill. It's
Right.
okay, it's zu Valentin with a partner.
Right.
Nicht jeder einem ist alles. Nicht jeder einem.
Right.
So the other thing that I wanted to jump into a little is not everything is for everyone.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm a very strong believer of that.
And you're proof of it because you do individual coaching and you do
Yeah,
group coaching.
and in coaching we have privates that people want to create a private setting for themselves, and it's really, really, I think in the healing world, there's the reason why people don't like certain parts of healing and growth and groups specifically is because there's a lot of dysfunction in it.
Oh,
There's a lot of
unfortunately.
there's a lot of like, oh, you don't do this because you're this. Like, I don't know if you want to talk about psychedelics. That's a
Yeah, we could,
conversation
yeah.
to discuss. But like, often there's certain psychedelics that I haven't done or I don't
Yeah.
want to, and I've been oftenly shamed by people within my
Oh, wow.
peers. You know, people that I'm close with. It's like, how do you have an opinion? Because like these words that. There's a place for genuine asking, like, why don't you, or are
Right.
you sure that that you're right about your opinion because if you never tried it? But there's also a certain, like, specifically if someone wants me to register to their program, it's like, you're not doing it because you're scared. If you really want to conquer the next step, like chill.
Right.
Nicht alles ist für jedem, und nicht alles ist für Hand.
Correct. But so I taka see a tremendous shadow side to all these to many of these. I'm not gonna say all. I happens to be I know what you do and I think it's very, very good. But I
you.
have seen others that was ich can say in the eerste conversation with them while they're trying to convince me to come,
Yeah.
there's toxicity. For example, I've seen it with two people that they try to invite me and then they go into a conversation about criticizing a other person that does it.
Yeah.
And the reggae you did that, you lost me.
Yeah.
Because if you can go and talk bad about somebody else,
Yeah.
then why are you not talking bad about me? Why
Yeah,
you not-
there is a power
So-
when it comes to, I think, sales as a whole. Like, let's put retreats, if that
Yeah.
should be sold or not on the shelf. But there is a power in making a argument for my offer. And the key, the kints,
Yeah.
the kints is to purify that and make an argument by talking from a place of passion and light
Right.
and excitement, rather than making an argument by saying what's wrong with that.
Right.
So I can do it right now in our conversation. I can say what's wrong with other programs is that there is a certain shaming them if they don't join.
Right.
And I can say, the other way of saying it
Yeah.
is that one of the things that I'm really passionate about is sharing why I want to invite you
Yeah.
and leaving it up to you if it's right for you or not.
Right.
See the difference?
Yeah.
And I think that people are scared in again, sales as a whole, to trust that if I make an argument for why I'm passionate, that's actually going to convince the other person to come my way.
Right.
They think that if I tell them, a little bit like the parent with a kid, if I tell them what's wrong there, I really mean it from my heart. Ellie, I don't want you to get hurt.
Right.
Je wil niet zo staan opvallen van de bike. Dat is de
Yeah.
kleinere bike. You should come to me.
Yeah.
But really, I think that that in the bigger scheme of things, or really giving something time to unfold, like sales or like my program, really to give time for my program to reach to the people that really, really can benefit, and it's right for them today. Me sharing from a place of passion and excitement, and living by the value that I consider is so important to me, living by it, not by saying they don't do it, I do
Yeah.
it, which I just did, just saying. But it really is, it's my avoide. I work
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah. And
I
you're
work on
busy.
it.
You're doing a lot of them. You have a lot
It's
of
been
people
lately
signing
really,
up.
it's been lately like I've been very, very grateful to
Yeah.
see it look and be a space that I feel safe in.
Yeah.
I mean safe really, that I don't go home doubting ever. I used to, so a few years back, there's a guy, his name is Nachman, who I worked for him at the time
Yeah.
in his program, and a pretty known program out there.
Yeah.
And I ran a group in Brooklyn. It's a follow-up support group for men.
Okay.
And after each group, I used to check in with how miserable I was
Yeah.
from my performance. And he used to encourage me, he used to say, you're okay, you're a powerhouse, you can do it. And I'm so grateful for him, because I would quit 1,000 times. I felt like an imposter. I felt like I don't know what I'm doing. That's probably 10 years ago already.
Yeah.
What happened throughout the years, and I've had many Nachmans that have just been there to see a certain light in me,
Yeah.
but I didn't know why I feel so insecure. Part of it was old thinking of I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
And really, if I didn't get reassurance from 6 out of 6 people every time, I had self-doubt,
Yeah.
right? But then I noticed that even if I get a reassurance, it's helft nicht. So I'm
Right.
like, okay, it's my own inner, I have to affirm myself and build that strength. But another thing that happened, which I think is where my coaching is where I like to focus on in my work, and also on retreats, is to notice that something about the way I did things was uncomfortable to me. And it took years of dabbling and support of others to not quit, until it's in my work, or the work that I do specifically in group, is in a way that I feel calm in my heart.
Nice.
So there's two sides
How did
to
you
it.
become calm in your
There's
heart?
the I'm not good enough, which I worked on a lot to build that inner reassurance, to do it anyway, to have people to reassure me, but also to actually, in the world of Masse, what do I want to do different? What would it take? A question that I was asked a lot by my guides, and the question I ask a lot of people is, what would it take to like it?
100%.
It's in a business. What would it take for you to like to go into work? Well, work is not meant for that. I'm like, who said it?
I think it's also in a relationship. What
Yeah,
would you
what
want
would you
out of this
want
relationship?
For you to like it.
For you to like
What would it take for you to like this relationship? And I ask myself that often.
And not
like,
being afraid to challenge it in those moments.
yeah, I even do it.
Even for married people, you're married. What do you want out of the relationship?
Yeah, I'll ask a client, do you like where our sessions are going? And I do ask the hard question, what would it take for you to like our next session?
Yeah.
Not of me, of yourself. And then I ask of myself, what would it take of me, which is personal responsibility, what would it take of me to like showing up? Maybe I'm not focused enough, and I blame it on my whole life story, that my whole life is going wrong, but really I'm not focused. I'm not present. And if I'm present, I feel really good. I feel calm. Like right now, I'm present. My anxiety is out.
Nice.
Right? So I think that part of what I like the healing and where it comes from, and seeing other realms, and Melech HaLuditzkavayt is a beautiful concept. But when it comes down to it, can I use the strength of I'm good enough to ask myself, what would it take to make this better?
Yeah.
And in the last 2-3 years, I've been really liking the work that's been happening thanks to the people that come around and the people in my life. I've been really liking it a lot more. I've been liking myself a lot more as a result of my work that I do and the coaching that I go to and the support that I have and the groups that I go to for my own
Yeah.
growth, but also to tweak my work into a place where I'm actually excited to sit here and talk about myself in my work,
Right.
because I really like what it's come to. And I think that's a question that people are scared to ask sometimes. Like, what would it, because if I ask myself, what would it take of you to like it? What would it take of me to like it? It comes with responsibility and also with a risk. What if I can't do it?
Right.
What if I find out that what it takes to like it?
Yeah.
You know, let's say I have a job up at, a lot of people from here commute.
Yeah.
And there's a vision. If I commute every day from Lakewood to Brooklyn, I need a car that drives alone.
Yeah.
Days.
Right.
Okay, what if I can't afford a car that drives alone? So jetzt heb ik gewoon een spiral. Ik darf spenden meer because otherwise heb ik the job. Like the concept that I might actually have to find a new job might be too scary.
Right. Okay.
So I don't ask myself the question, what would it take for me to like living here in Toms River as opposed to Brooklyn? I'm moving towards moving, let's say. What would it take to live in Toms River? One is I'll have a self-driving car.
You're moving
Problem
to Toms
solved.
River?
Maybe. No, I'm not. But I'm saying like...
You moving to Brooklyn?
No. I live where I live. I'm saying like a question a person asks themselves, what would it take for, let's say if a lot of people want to move, but they're like, it's too much pieces to...
Yeah.
So the question is, what would it take? What would it take? So the easy answer is I'll buy a self-driving car.
Right.
But what if I can't afford buying a self-driving car?
Right.
I'll look for a new job. Oh, I don't like that answer.
Right.
So I don't ask myself, what would it take to like it? So it's a lot easier to go and say, oh, the reason why I can't move is because I'm thinking I'm not good enough and I don't have confidence and I don't have insecure and I need a program to transform me so I have more confidence.
Yeah.
There's another piece to it. Ask yourself what you need and start working the steps to achieve it.
Right.
You need more income in order to move. Let's start creating a fund towards a move.
Right.
It costs $100,000 to move. Where's the cash?
Right.
Let's get it. Let's start working for it. It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And it's scary. Because what if the answer is no?
Yeah.
What if the answer is not now?
Right.
But I think the question is, what would it take for this to happen? Is a question to sit in for a minute and really write it down and really contemplate. What would it, think of the buche, you're saying the 16-year-old is depressed. What if the depression is a question? What would it take to be happy?
Correct.
And what if I'm wrong with the first 7 things I think, specifically at 16? Oh, what I want to do is Ozain optional Mampayas, the dream of so many, maybe of your viewers.
Yeah.
You know, of the younger. Like, what I would want to do is not be in the system. I'm like, okay, that's one on a list.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that'll actually provide the happiness.
Right.
Right? So many things that we try when we ask the question isn't right, but it's the willingness to keep asking the question again and again and again. And I think with time, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, we can come to a place where, okay, now I'm comfortable with what I'm doing.
Right.
And I think that the combination of the two in inner work is I'm good enough. Right, the internal then shame is neshemis.
Yeah.
No one is worthy to not be. And what am I doing by how am I moving in this world in a way that I feel I like the way I do. I like the way I roll.
Yeah.
a little. The combination of the two is a place where things become a little bit easier for the person that feels a lot.
Yeah.
You know.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
So marriage, personal responsibility and process.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's beautiful. I'm going to tap into one more thing that came up, which worked for me every time is trust, because ultimately you're already...
That's a big word, trust.
Yeah, because ultimately you're always already on the way. It's like you're sitting on a train to, let's say, Switzerland, whatever, and you're like thinking, I want to get to Switzerland, when in reality you're already on the way to Switzerland. So you're sitting in the train and you're saying, I wish I was on a train to get to Switzerland.
Yeah.
Like, in other words, you're always on the way to the thing that you want anyway.
Yeah, it's a pretty trippy concept, like looking back and noticing that at some point in my journey I asked for exactly this.
To trust?
You're saying to trust because I'm anyway going where I'm going. I'm saying it's like sitting here this very day, or whoever is thinking, and notice that where I am today, even the thing that sucks and I don't want to be in it, whatever led to this moment, there is a part that I actually wanted to happen. I just didn't know it's going to feel bad.
Yeah.
But there's something that I wanted. Let's say a toxic relationship. A relationship that's really a lot of fighting. There's a point where I wanted that person.
Yeah.
There was a rutzen. Or with the system shadichim, there's a point where I said, I want to be in Gaman, I want to be married.
Correct.
The days I'm finally free.
Yeah.
So there is a piece of like, I actually wanted this, and it's trippy.
Right.
It's trippy because there's so much I didn't want.
Right.
But there is something in it, and a strong part that I actually wanted.
Right.
I didn't know better.
Yeah.
I was a victim.
Yeah. But that's what I'm
I
thinking.
wanted it.
Maybe it's just that my flow is better than other people's flow. So meaning my train that I'm already on is maybe easier than others. But I don't think it is.
What are you talking about?
I mean, because
Where are you, man? Come back.
basically, no, I'm saying that I feel like there are certain, when I surrender and trust, I feel very good about it.
About what?
About surrendering and trusting, knowing that the process is perfect.
Okay.
It's going to work out. The business deal, the money, the relationship, it's all going to work out. For some people, their surroundings and the thing that they are in is very bad. So for them, they feel like it's a lot more difficult to
Yeah,
surrender.
so I don't think that
So
surrender...
there's a saying, lay your bed or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
like you choose, wie die bist. You know what I'm saying?
I think that the art of being present and surrender
Yeah.
isn't something still. It's a kind of movement. And we can
Yeah, but I'm saying many people, when they surrender, they find themselves in a very bad place.
Correct.
They find
So,
themselves van
yeah.
een train to Switzerland.
correct.
Ich fuhr du zu Russia or whatever. Ich will von der Jean do. So some presence had them in the beginning, when I got present for the first time, I was deeply depressed for about a year.
Yeah.
Deeply depressed.
me-
I was like,
for me-
ich arbeite a job,
Yeah.
ich bin nicht happy, ich bin nicht healthy. Everything
Yeah,
was going
and
bad.
just to say something you said earlier about pain, that it's less intense or less long. For me to even stop now in my day-to-day practices of just stopping and becoming present.
Yeah.
I don't know about your train to Switzerland. I very often don't like where I'm sitting.
Okay.
So it makes sense that it's very hard for people to surrender or
Yeah.
trust when the first reaction to seeing what's actually around me is not a fruit tree.
Right.
It's like death, and it's unhappiness,
Yeah.
and it's hopelessness. I think that what becomes better with time is to see that if I stop and become aware of where I'm at, even if the first moment or week or whatever
will be painful,
is painful,
eventually it will get better.
it opens up more all
Possibilities
around.
and opportunities.
Yeah, it opens
love
up more
that.
opportunity, and
Yeah.
and it's just a matter of becoming good, not at being on the train to excellence, but
Yeah.
being on the
Train of presence.
or more like and more like the muscle, the nervous system response, like in a body mamish.
Yeah.
Or for some people that are more mind, is the mindset and the
Yeah.
belief that stopping and looking around at whatever storm comes is
Yeah.
more valuable
Right.
than not looking.
Right.
And I don't think this comes as a flip of a switch. I think it's a constant avoide, which goes on for the rest of a person's life.
Yeah.
Is the koyach that it takes to stop and become aware of what I'm feeling, even though I don't like the first hoof
Right.
that comes my way.
Right. Yeah, it's beautiful. This is like a question I wanted to ask you. Let me check my thing. See if
You
we're
cut
good.
out when you check, or
Am
you
I
leave it in?
no, das bleibt alles so this.
So jeder eins, hat die guys checking?
Ja, ich habe gemacht einen Podcast mit Kalmi Schwarz, the singer, and whenever I got up, he got up. It became the funniest thing. Like, it was very funny. We all got
So
up.
your
and
next
checked.
get up, I stretch.
Yeah. What I wanted to say, you can
Okay.
always stretch.
Yeah,
Always
I'm
stretch.
getting
It's hosting,
comfortable.
you
I'm
get
getting
comfortable. I
comfortable.
didn't know, we're like an hour in, but I'm having a good time. It's my time well
Me
spent.
too. Thank you.
Yeah. Motty is like a few $100s an hour usually. So here I get him. It's one of the reasons why I opened the podcast. I get to meet so many important individuals, you know, Rabbi Manas Friedman, Yaakov Shweki, Gad Elbaz. We had like Lipa Schmelzer. I had like really big guests.
Yeah.
And then big guests in the healing world, whether, you know, Motty Kenigsberg, I had a, who else did I did? Fali Klein, I did lots of different therapists, and did Esther Goldstein, who's a trauma therapist. She's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's the one I saw of you, is with a therapist.
Yeah.
Woman on a
And,
couch.
So it's an honor. Like, I get it in
Yeah.
to very big, important people, and I always learn something important. I did Jackie Glaser. She's huge, you know, in dating and coaching. Whatever.
I think it's one of the most beautiful things about podcasts is to listen to the true story of people, specifically successful people,
Yeah.
to understand that what well-being really looks like.
Right.
There's a misconception on social media, books,
Right.
programs, and retreats, particularly even therapy, that is very. Let's move away from that.
Yeah.
And there is a misconception of what well-being looks like. And thanks to a lot of podcasts, you can hear really successful people that share what it's really like to live in their heart.
Right.
And that's the ones that I sometimes like to find. It's like the anxiety that they have, the struggles that they have, the
Yeah.
failures, and it's very easy to hear one thing, push.
Yeah.
But that's not, a lot of these podcasts, not what they talk about. They talk about when they couldn't push.
Right.
They talked about just the process, a miracle.
Yeah.
They kept just waking up in the morning and it got better.
This book a reference to me, a podcast that I recorded, I think about a year ago, which is how I named it "How I Stay Sane," and I list over there like my daily routine. Could I for me to really stay sane? And I list over there. I do my walk, my cold plunge, my breath work, journaling, davening, whatever. I have my whole thing. And I talked to him 6 months after giving it out, and he said, "Ga een ausgeide podcast in, but ich nog alt," meaning
So
to say
I
he
wanna say
referenced
something
back
on
to
that.
it, and it made me feel so.
Yeah, so that is true. So that's true. So first of all, you hear that people do actual things not only for the project but for themselves in order to be better.
Yeah.
But the other thing I want to say, which comes very much from my personal
Yeah.
personality, and it's a little bit different than your personality, I'm very bad at routines. I used to post my cold plunges on my WhatsApp status.
Yeah.
And while I'm in it,
Yeah.
and someone asked me, how do you stay consistent? And my response was, I don't. Like, I don't post every day. I don't do it every day.
Wow.
And in 10 years, 50, I go on, I go off. I start, I stop. So
Oh, wow.
I personally am not great at this routine thing.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
know?
So Moishi always tells me, he's like, Ellie, I think that your number one quality is that when you start something, you're consistent.
Yeah.
And I tell him I'm consistent out of fear, not out of love. Everything in life is fear or love. I think it's out of fear of what happens if I don't do it. What happens if I stop doing it?
Yeah.
The reason I, for the last 2 years, first of all, I've been doing cold showers for 2 years now. Every single day. Cold plunge or a cold shower.
I think it's very, very
same
powerful.
as with breath work, same as with the journey. There's a whole list of things. Morning walks. Like I have a whole, there's more of a fear of what happens if I don't do it. Like I do not want to fall back into depression. And this is where I want to give a shout out, because eine von Sachen, was ich mich integenemen is that when I do go out of depression and I feel calm and present and good and happy in my life, is that I will always validate those 20-30% of people that are actively going through deep, heavy depression. Because those are the numbers. And in our community, it's not less. There's a 20-30% of people that have deep depression. And what?
In the world these days?
Yeah, that's the number. 20-30% of having deep episodes. Right. Unhappiness. 20-30% of people that are listening to this are having a really, really bad time. And I want to tell these people that I have love for you. I feel for you. I really do feel for people even when I don't know them. Like, I can relate to the feeling somewhat. And I also want to say that I'm here for you. Like, my number is in this podcast, under every podcast. And if there's any way that I can help, and I have that a lot, people call me, I give them numbers of people that can get help. That I'm really here for you. Like, and it absolutely sucks. Like, it does not feel good to be in a bad place. And I'm also grateful to God every single day that I'm in a good place. That thank you, I'm in a good place.
I'm one of those people that haven't found the trick. My
life being in a good place.
I didn't find the routine. I didn't find if I do these 3 things every morning.
So maybe that's your trick. You keep on saying I'm not good in routines. Imagine being in a routine.
No, looking back at 20 years of my life, I have a consistent track record of what I've been up to, probably more than 20 years. But for the people that, like, listen, okay, if I only do a breath work and a sun exposure and I buy these glasses and a meditation and this and this and this, I'm going to be fine. 2 things. Number one, maybe not. I'm sure there's a case study for everything.
Yeah.
Like, you can find one person that it didn't work. The other thing is some people are just not wired like that, and then they start plowing on themselves. I need to be consistent.
Yeah.
David Goggins. David Goggins is David Goggins. David Goggins is useful for me when I'm in the gym and I want to not go one more rep, I'm going to listen to David Goggins.
Yeah.
But to live David Goggins is not me.
Right.
It's a time. So what I'm saying is that not sometimes that 20-30%, one of the hardships that it's made of, one of the hardships of depression is to really think that I could find a solution that that person found, and it doesn't work for them.
Right.
And I think part of your validation is that I understand that this doesn't work for you. And what I want to add to your
Yeah.
care is that there is a way for you. And I think that for people that the consistent regimen doesn't work, it's going to be very much made of their own inner intuition,
Yeah.
not a mind, okay, this is what I do, but more like learning to listen to their body and start noticing where they need to move, what they need to do, where they need to go. And again, if I look back, I'm like, okay, I do a lot of these things that you describe these days, but not from a place of rigidness and not from a place of this is my list to have a good routine. More like I learn to understand where to move at different times based on how I feel. And I think that's been helpful. And that doesn't mean I'm free. Some days I'm really not doing well. If I don't sleep enough, I don't eat enough. We spoke about this once.
Yeah.
I think I don't remember when, but once we spoke about like the healing is sometimes so simple, right?
Yeah.
But I learned to listen to my body in the way where I understand that now I'm hungry, and that has an effect on me, right? But instead of I should do David Goggins today.
Yeah.
And then there is just days that are dark. I know there are days that are dark for me. I know friends and people that it's just really, really dark. And
question is why though?
Why is always the question why?
Because you see, so I'm glad we're on opposite sides of this. I'm
not disagreeing.
I'm just saying.
Why do you think the question is always why?
Because, in my opinion, most of the times there is a reason. Okay. So, and that I think that's the whole idea of life, is that you do in a sense take control and you play that dance with Hashem.
That can be
you're letting Him lead. Yeah. But you're also making the choices. If not, then there's no point.
I think there's a time.
So when we talk about 90% of people are not sleeping enough and not eating healthy, and then you're saying it's okay how they feel stabilis depressed, that's not okay. You did it to yourself. At least acknowledge this and nog dan weer okay, madame. That's my point. The darkness only comes for a reason. And by the way, I made that relationship with darkness, which is, we got this song, a little darkness, whatever, something. Basically, if there is darkness, what's going on? What's going on? What did I do wrong? Did I not sleep enough?
I think that just like with thought about what's the primal belief of a marriage, if she's my mother or not, I think we can do it with this as well. Yeah. Like there's different places for different conversations to have. Okay. I think there's a place to understand this is just how it is.
Okay.
And it's not, and I'm a victim to my circumstances.
Yeah.
And then there is a place of personal responsibility.
Correct. So it's a combination of both.
It's different times.
Yeah.
You know, it's like even within, like as I get better at working with myself, and
so
I can do it quicker. I can be like, I fully surrender to my powerlessness.
Yeah.
And I can activate my power.
Right.
And these are not contradict. You see, in the world of mind, you can't. I don't think you could, but I can think two things at the same time.
Yeah.
In the world, so we cling to having a system of, oh, it's your fault, responsibility. I'm like, chill.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm a victim to how I'm feeling, which isn't a victim for my whole life and forever. Right now, I'm in a very hurting place, and I can let that live and breathe for a little.
100%.
And then I can go into the other realm of like, what can I do today, or what responsibility can I do? Correct. Who can I call? Where can I go? And that's why you're offering your time. Correct. Because if you don't know where to call, here is a guy that you can actually call.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of that in my practice. I offer, I like to connect with people, unrelated if we'll coach or not, as a way to a shared value is that I get to offer. I get to offer value in an intake conversation, but I also get to share what I do. But I also get to offer value in that conversation. And with the years, I got really appreciated for that.
Right.
I count, like to me, I heard something amazing. Like someone said, I coach all day. Some pay, some don't. the structures are different,
Right.
but I like these conversations because I think everyone should have someone to talk to. And maybe I'm not the one they'll talk to every time, but if I can offer a conversation
Yeah.
where it's a nice exchange, I get to share what I do
Right.
and put myself out, and
Right.
and I also get to offer. I think that's where you come in, because there's a place where there's such despair that a person doesn't know what to do, and you're like, okay, call me if you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll be able to see something in you that you can't see in yourself,
Right.
right? You see, okay, I understand that you're 16 and you're stuck and you don't know what to do, you don't have a choice.
Right.
And maybe you can see that they can take on running, or
Right.
they can take on reading, or
Right.
they can, yes, tell their father how they feel.
Right.
And they think that it's not going to work, but maybe it could work. And I think another person can really shed light on that despair. One of the most powerful things for a lot of these heavy, sticky darkness, like shame, addiction, compulsion, is when we let another in.
Yeah.
It really adds
Yeah.
perspective than when it's done alone.
Right. Yeah. Beautifully
It's
said.
really nice of you to offer that space for people. I think it's very special.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. And I personally, there's a fantasy book that I want to write, and I want to call it Black and White, because I think that there are certain things in life that are black and white and certain things that are not black and white. The black and white things in life there are certain methods of, whether it's the breath work or a cold plunge or a gratitude journal or reading a book, that will always make you feel better.
Besides when a person doesn't have the muscle to go and do it.
Okay, so what are we talking
Which is
about?
really despair.
He or she is in bed all day? What's the...
Whatever that looks like.
Meaning, you can call a friend. I signed up a coach 2 years ago. I was laying in bed while he called me. Signed up with him for coaching.
Yeah, listen,
I said, I'm here in bed. It's the middle of the day. I don't have energy to get out of bed.
Yeah.
So there's always something that can be done.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to what you said about taking responsibility. It's time to take that responsibility. Too many people that I talk to, I can exactly see what's wrong. Now, they might be stuck. And that's also a conversation that I wanted to ask you, which is that, how does somebody see if they're stuck? Because maybe I'm stuck right now in having this idea of telling you that it's all about physical things. Or how does somebody know maybe they're stuck in a specific business where they want more growth, but they're stuck? Or obviously they're stuck in a relationship, which is the biggest one.
Yeah, so I tell people that getting divorced is as much work as being in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because when we show up to what's really in front, it slowly unfolds and clarity comes.
Yeah.
So how do you know if you were saying if someone is stuck, how do they not know that they're being stuck?
Yeah.
I think that, first of all, both could be true at the same time. A good friend of mine recently introduced me to an idea that a 6 and a 9 is the same number, just on two sides of it.
Right.
So a person could be stuck and unstuck simultaneously, which means the very same thing that I think is stuck could be my greatest gift. The very same thing that that feels like I'm king of the world puts me later in debt. Like that's, and I've experienced all of that, and I'm actively experiencing things that I think are good are really not great for me, and things that are great are wonderful for me. Like specifically pain, a lot of my pain that I think is not good is really good for me, in the sense where a lot of what I know about life and about myself and about people and about creating these spaces comes from my pain. Wow. A lot of it comes from there, and then I went seeking and I went asking and I went learning. So I'm in a place where I can see things as really both.
Right.
But I think that a person can only know as much as they know for the moment. Yeah. But I do think that having a willingness to be wrong ends up shortening the lies as much as possible. The willingness, like I said initially, like the willingness that my wife can tell me, why are you talking not night? The willingness to hear. It's like, come on, tell me what I did wrong. Yeah. At some point in my marriage, I got excited when she calls me out, even though I get sour and miserable and moody. In me, I got excited. It's like 2 years into this marriage. Yeah. I got really clear that part of me just grows every time she calls me out. Yeah. Because I am sometimes impatient and I throw my expectations on her, and I'm not being in reality of what's happening. I'm doing a lot of things at the same time. So I think the willingness to be wrong, and coaches, they call it to be coachable.
Yeah.
The willingness to be wrong ends up making that process to truth quicker and
Right.
sooner.
Yeah.
You know, there's a generic list like surround yourself with blah, 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 read blah, blah, blah. But I think, again, a person is where they are, and the wrongs of today are the rights of tomorrow very often. And a real value, which is on the highest, I think value is the highest point in our consciousness. What I really value is the willingness to be wrong. And I think narcissism and a lot of issues come when the psyche isn't able to be wrong very well.
Yeah.
And I hurt badly when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I have a stinky ego,
Yeah.
but I see it and I know it and I acknowledge it and I got comfortable talking about it,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? So I think that the willingness to be wrong, not to walk around, I'm wrong, not the shame, I'm bad. The willingness to constantly evolve. A very wealthy person, very successful person, like not new wealthy. He's in the 70s, wealthy for many years. He told me that a lot of people know how to jump in and do something. Very few people understand when it's time to say I was wrong and fold and leave.
Wow. Right. Right. Wow.
And with certain things, it doesn't work like that, like marriage. Marriage is not one of those things that you fold. It's one of those things that I keep finding out, and actually, instead of saying I'm at the end of my rope, I'm asking myself, what don't I know?
Yeah.
Like, tell me what I don't know.
Right.
You know, my therapist, tell me what I don't know. A counselor, tell me what I don't know. Sex coach, tell me what I don't know.
Right.
You know, spiritual guide, spiritual mentor, tell me what I don't know. Tell me what I don't know about a minute. Tell me what I don't know about Yiddishkeit. Tell me what I'm missing.
Right.
And constantly doing that, I think, is what people we look at as tzaddikim have done their whole life, and we look at them as legend. But again, if you read Tehillim, as you do, you see that there was no perfection there. There was an ask. There was an ask. Tell me how to be okay with my son.
Right.
Like, because I don't know how. You tell me how.
Right.
And I think that's a state to enter. The surrender thing you're talking about is a certain vibe that eventually you can feel in your body of entering a place of curiosity and the willingness to learn and not being destroyed every time I need to learn something new.
Yeah.
And that I'm like slowly getting to.
Yeah.
I'm nowhere there.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I had a rough last day too, and with a whole month of kids off school, it was just so much. And I really got a wake up of a lot of these feelings of what they're like.
Yeah.
And
I had that. Yeah. I had that last week. It was very rough for me.
Yeah.
I coming back from Orlando. I landed. Not like
rough landing.
Now I feel like I'm here. Life is good again. Okay.
Wow.
Let's start working on business again. Let's start looking for that house. Let's continue that relationship. You know, like I feel like finally everything is back in check. And don't get me wrong, that week of shakiness made me see more than I was able to see in the last 6 months. So that's where I very much agree with you that it is a process, and you're gonna see what you're gonna see, and it's good.
Yeah, it's just I think that a thing I'm really stuck on the thing you said about the 20-30%.
Yeah,
I'm really thinking about them, and I'm thinking about myself when I'm one of those 20-30% of despair, or when I used to live there a lot more. I'm really like, I think that someone that can be compassionate and handle it is very powerful. Compassionate, that's where therapy is so beautiful. Because therapy is actually not about what am I going to do about it. It's a place that the
Just
feeling is
listen.
allowed to exist.
Yeah. I'm also going to add, get yourself a good partner. A good shidduch, a good partner, or rekindle the relationship.
Build it
that
with
you
your
have.
partner. Teach them that you're not Santa Claus or
So that's-
Moshe Rabbeinu. Teach them that you're human.
But that's what I learned.
Get them immune, that you can provide safety in your relationship,
Yeah.
even when you're not in a good place.
So exactly. So that's literally what I learned in the book Loving What Is. Together with my friend Moshe, we kind of studied that of like,
Katie's book.
what do you need? Yeah, like that is loving what is I love, yes, but also getting the love you want. That's very much in terms of relationships, understanding what it is that I need, and when do I need it, why do I need it.
Yeah.
And I think that every person in the world has that need to be understood and heard and valued and appreciated or whatever. And once they have that, I think it really takes care of
Beautiful.
most.
Now, then comes the things you're talking about, which is what can I do? What didn't I do?
Yeah.
What did I contribute for this depression?
Yeah.
But I think the first thing to create is a sense where this experience is allowed to be in the existence of another that doesn't get scared away for me.
100%.
Because if I get scared away and I think I'm at the end of my rope, being in the presence of someone that can handle it and they don't get scared away, naturally, it's like it's you know what a resonance is?
Yeah.
Like when you take a tuning fork and you put it near another one, it starts dinging in the same. So, you know, a lot of friendships are drama machines.
Yeah.
Where one person is this and nog maar grinding in hate and whatever and gossip, so one can make themselves feel in the same. There's another kind of friendship or support or professional support, whichever capacity it is, where the other can actually hear, feel the feeling, and still hold a higher truth. And that rubs off.
Yeah.
It really rubs off.
Yeah. Nice.
I think one of the things that I've developed in the last few years of this understanding what I want to do in my work that actually relaxes my insecurities by doing it right to my calling. One of the things that I've learned is nature. And I think that in the Heimische Welt, there's a very big disconnect. Not everybody. There are people who are nature fanatics.
Yeah.
Midden hit and rekkel and tzitzis. They understand the beauty.
Right. Motty, I want to give you a chance before we wrap up the podcast to talk a little bit about retreats coming up, a little bit how it works. I can say my experience first, fullyThis, is that I know Motty does beautiful retreats. In Swan Lake, sometimes in Costa Rica, or the other exotic places. He posts all of them on his WhatsApp status. And there's also a website, right?
An email.
Email?
Good way to be on top.
Email list?
Because I'm a fan of not having status.
Okay. Oh, so it's email more?
So I put everything on status, but I'm myself getting off status. Yeah. So I believe that other people are doing so too at some point. And to not just be on there all day. Right. Email ends up being a really good place to...
Yeah, and he also does private coaching, which I personally work with him one-on-one, and I know that he's an amazing coach, an amazing guy, and his retreats are beautiful. I know many people who went to his retreats and really had a good, nice experience. Not very... I think it's... The specialty is that it's not very intense. It's more like of going on a... excuse me, on a vacation where you just get to do...
So these days I moved away from offering a vacation.
Okay.
I've evolved with my retreat world.
Right.
I have a passion for travel and overlook and the views and all that. So I used to focus on giving both. And what I noticed is that people can do that very well on their own if they want to.
Yeah.
And some people don't want that.
Right.
So my retreat program in itself has in it a very relaxed side. There isn't a like there's an opportunity for you to be yourself as you are with as much ease as possible throughout the process of the work that we do, which is just hard work and truth work and self-work, becoming a self-work, but not in a way where it's a million miles away from who I actually am on a regular day. Mm-hmm. So I don't develop these two identities, which ends up happening because people have their healing life, then they have their life, and they're so far from each other. Right. We try to bring in the people that I work with and the values that we hold is that it's not out there. It's here. Right. So the retreat in itself has in it a very human regular side to it.
Right. I heard that it's not and we're not opening up a can of worms.
It's not particularly a trauma retreat, although people heal their traumas in a very deep way. Right. We don't particularly, there's no need to share anything specific, but it's a very powerful, transformative experience. Some retreats we do local and they're short. Okay. Like Swan Lake and LA, for the LA community, people that want to come to LA, it's a beautiful state. Okay. California is very beautiful, the weather, the overlook. And then we also do destination places. So what we're doing now, let's say our next retreat in Costa Rica is a weekend. And I'm sure some people want to just come for the weekend and go home. The place is stunning. Okay. You know, they say in Costa Rica that it's a jungle, the whole country is a jungle, and humans are the guest. It's not like the spider is the guest. Nice. And it's felt, it's very easy to be there. And it's a very safe, beautiful country. It's different than Mexico and other places. Okay. And so we spend there the weekend, and if people want to stay longer, they extend their trip. But the retreat in itself is
only the weekend?
Is the weekend.
And what do you do on the weekend, if you want to share?
So it's very hard to explain a vibe
Yeah.
that we try to create, and it's really co-created by everyone there by literally being themselves
Okay.
and the truest version of themselves. And oddly, that's a chiddush.
Yeah. Right.
It's a chiddush because even in healing spaces, now I have to be the healer.
Yeah.
And I have to be the this, and I have to sit like that, and I have to be present, or I have to talk about this trauma, or be like that, or cry as loud as that person. The vibe that we really try to embody, and I try to embody it in my work, is that the truest version of myself is what needs to happen today, and that constantly evolves.
Oh wow.
So the retreat itself has a structure. You know, we do breath work,
Right.
and we set intentions. We're journaling. It's very deep work in a nonchalant way,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
a way that it's normal, and it's. And I watch the change that happens for people, and it's very humbling.
Right.
Besides my own growth,
Right.
I would like shake in a podcast like this. I would be very planned, and I would bug beforehand and ask you questions. What are you going to talk?
Yeah,
What are you
yeah.
going to ask me? What is on limits, off limits?
Yeah.
I had these categories of life. This is my family, and this is my work, and this is my income, and this is my healing, and
Yeah.
and now all of it is just one. And I think that's the way we do these practices that are known.
Yeah.
And we work with psychedelics,
Right.
not on all retreats.
Right.
Like the Swan Lake has one day that's breath work, meditation, guided processes, a lot of human
Yeah.
connection, and it's all steered towards openness and becoming the best and most powerful version of self. But it's also like chill in a sense. Like the seriousness is not dramatic, I would say. But so we split it in Swan Lake. Like, so we have one day that's these inward practices that you know well, and then there's an option to stay for 2 nights, and then we work with medicine.
Right.
The medicine we work with is Wachuma.
Right.
You're familiar with it?
Yeah.
It's,
Shmeli told me.
yeah,
all
it's
about
very
it.
different than other
Yeah.
medicines. I work with people.
Yeah.
I'm not the one that makes it or serves
Right.
it, but I have a deep, beautiful relationship with this particular medicine. I think that it's a very delicate question for people. I don't think it should be taken lightly and decide, oh, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
But I do think that that what we offer is a very beautiful place of entering a deeper level of self and of power and of emes. It's not a trip medicine. It's
Right.
not like, oh, you take something and you're out of here. Fleeing and saying Sachen. It's not a hallucinative
Yeah.
drug.
Yeah. Right.
It doesn't activate hallucinations, and it doesn't particularly. A person is fully themselves the whole time, which is what I love. But
Yeah.
it widens and opens space to be more of self, and specifically, it's like a MS radar, or the word is a bullshit meter. It's that. And
Yeah.
coming home from these retreats, I have a really hard time BSing myself.
Right.
Like I suffer if I BS myself.
Right.
And that's why I like going back to stay in check on my truth. You asked them earlier, like, how do I know I'm not BSing myself?
Yeah.
It's one of the offerings we have is to develop that not only in logic, but in feeling and in sensation, a stronger access to gut, which is emes. Right? So there's thinking, there is feelings, which could be linked to the emes, but it's a feeling. And then there's gut, which is a certain emes. I think that a lot of the work we do is to access that place of gut. And the highest value we have is going home and starting to live life and move from a place of emes and make real change from a place of emes.
Yeah.
And the people I work with share that. They believe that the highest value isn't the retreat, it's going home and really measuring what I've been doing, and is it working? Is it good for me? Does it make me closer to my wife or further? Do I start developing a triple double, not a double life, a triple life? You know, the yid, the fake initiate, in the healer. Like, it's about integrating these parts and becoming one whole person, because we are at Salem Elikim, which is one whole person.
Right.
With all of our scatteredness, we are one.
Yeah.
Because we are, it's all held by one.
So
So
and
we
for
try
what
to
type
do
of
that.
person do you think this is?
We have a very mixed, diverse crowd. We have Hasidim, Heimische, Balbatische, Zaydis, in their 40s
legit.
and 50s, and we have 20s.
How are
that
they
finding
getting to you?
themselves.
How are you finding them?
How did you find me? The weirdest,
yeah,
oddest.
friend of a friend and whatever.
Yeah, that's what's been happening. I don't do much on social media. I have a little bit of Instagram going, but I don't
Right.
register that way. And maybe I will.
How are you filling up
maybe I should
all
have
your
a
retreats? I
conversation.
mean, you have. I know you're full and stuff.
Yeah, it's been magnificent. Really, a lot of word of mouth.
Yeah.
And a lot of doing good work. Like, really, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to come home and feel energized and excited to be a better person.
And if I feel like I'm achieving that rather than I'm depleted and I'm living some double life myself,
Yeah.
when I feel I can live a single life, come home and easier go and do what I need to do, show up, be helpful, be grateful for my wife that I was able to go away. I know that we're doing good work, and
Right.
it's a fine line of the work and actually it being applicable.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that a lot of what you like to do privately is because of that. You want it to be you.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be some stink or
Right.
some drama.
Yeah, that's how I felt
Yeah.
regarding workshops when it was introduced to me 5-6 years ago. It was workshops with like 50 people or something,
Yeah.
and people were just sitting in a lunchroom and yelling and screaming
Yeah.
and shit. And
I
I
come from
understand the
there, yeah.
style to that. I
Yeah.
understand it.
It's not everyone's journey.
There's
It was
some Tony
mine.
Robbins does a workshop with 1,000 people. Like
Yeah.
I can see that, but for
Yeah.
me, it never
It
felt
didn't
like
call
home.
you. So ours has a nice blend.
And also, what
This-
happens with
yeah.
these workshops, there was like 50% of people would go home and say, "I don't know, I felt
Right.
a little bit left out. It didn't do
Yeah,
much
so
for
we
me."
do that too. We really try to translate the experience into real practical life
Yeah.
on a very personal level. And I think everyone there offers that to one another. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Like we had the 73-year-old nurse and the 23-year-old Tom's River Chusid or the Halba Chusid.
Yeah.
And they somehow offered value for each other.
Right. Right.
What a beautiful thing. And
Right.
that's a co-created space.
Right.
I told them, Joel, who's my partner in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
retreats, I told him last night, we started a group and I was pretty anxious. It was the first one.
Yeah.
And a lot of new people in my circle. And I told them, I think I have to actually live in what I preach, to actually let everyone bring their value and stop controlling so much.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's a value that I think every single person that shows up brings who they are, and it's actually valuable.
Right.
And when someone else receives it, when I receive your value, you actually feel valuable.
Yeah.
And when you receive my value, like you have been doing the last 2 hours, I feel valuable.
Thank
And we
you.
help each other that way, and we
Yeah.
help each other grow. Okay, we take different roles. I create a program, been doing it for a lot of years, but I do feel that once we step into a space, to a sacred space of bettering and creating, we all bring who we are.
Right.
Someone as the receiver, someone as the giver. And sometimes I need to remind myself of that when I'm tripping.
Yeah,
I'm very
yeah.
anxious. I mean tripping. I mean anxious.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking.
I didn't know
And
you mentioned anxious a few times. I didn't know that's like a thing for you, anxious.
Yeah, it's a big thing for me. It's a big thing. Sometimes worse, sometimes better, and sometimes sometimes I can't. I need a break. Sometimes I need 2 hours to just relax.
Yeah.
And the best thing that happened for me is to give myself the 2 hours.
Right.
No, okay, I'm not functional for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So that changes it from 3 months to 2 hours, and it happens less frequent, which you
Nice.
mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Very
B
nice.
Retreat is the name. B-retreat.com. My name is is my website. You can find everything there.
Motty Kenigsberg.
Motty Kenigsberg.com.
Kenigsberg.com. Nice.
And my cell phone works. I don't have a manager.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna put all your information down in the description. Your
Yeah.
number, your WhatsApp, the website. So if anybody wants to get in touch with Motty or see what more information about him and what he does, they can find it. Motty, thank you so much. It was a nice
you.
conversation.
It was really
a lot
good.
of growth. It was really good. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Excellent.
All right, friends. Like I always say, like, share, subscribe, share it with a friend. Let me sit down again. Share it with a friend that can enjoy. And we're on. Now you're the producer.
There you go.
Oh, nice movement. Share it with a friend that can enjoy. As always, I did record extra bonus content over here for the members. So if you join the membership, I would really appreciate it. It supports the channel. You'll get to see extra bonus footage from every episode that we record. You'll get to join a personal WhatsApp group where you can have conversations with me. And just means a lot. And thank you for all the people that sometimes leave a super like, a super comment, all these things, donations, whatever, support, comments. It really means the world to me. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching this episode. Chevre, as always, I love to hear your feedback. Laat me a message in the comments. Was hast enjoyed wegen der episode? Welche Detail hast enjoyed? Oder was kannst du sharen wegen deiner personal journey? Oder was kannst du sharen? Future guests, was uns auch mal aufbringen. I always love to hear your feedback because based on what you say is the guest that I bring up next. And when people recommend a guest, I go directly and I message that person and I ask them if they want to come on. So I really always appreciate your feedback. Ook I hear all the messages of the hotline. So if there is this of the hotline, thank you very much. I always hear the messages and I appreciate it. This is also a reminder to please support the sponsors in their episode.
Sai, 3M vitamins. If you can, even just to save their number, shows them that we have a listening and that their money was well spent. Same is with kosher skinny shots. If you know of them, send them a regards. If you can refer somebody, Sai for the vitamins, Sai for the kosher skinny shots, or the Sai for bookkeeping is a dritte sponsor, bookwise bookkeeping. It really, really means a lot and helps out the program. Be'emes, it helps me get a little bit of money into this podcast that keeps me motivated. It means the world to me. Afila mekena machen a like also means a lot. Oder man shared this with a friend. I'm subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. You subscribe. Du willst kannst du uns in the notifications like this. You get the message every time there's a new episode. You'll get it. You'll get to see it first. Another special thing that I want to mention is in some of the membership. The membership is basically from jede episode wird recorded a bisschen bonus content. Usually is the conversation that a bisschen lighter. So it's usually gleich noch the podcast, the gleich vader podcast. Record a bisschen of the camera and ich lege es raus for members. For was tieges? Because it costs $10 a chodesh and this helped in some Shine group members, this helped cover the cost from the monthly expenses from the podcast. So you're paying back at $10 to help support the channel, but you get yourself extra bonus content, which is very interessant, and you get to join a WhatsApp group with me and other listeners. We can discuss any podcast. Now I want to make a special offer, which is for the next 5 people that sign up will receive their gift. This is a beautiful positivity, which that positivity of Deizat, drinking positivity of the andere Zat. I will either deliver it to you or bring it to you personally for the next fin of members of signing off. Even if you only sign up for 1 month, I will give you this beautiful gift, a shine cup with a cover, and just my way of giving back to the people. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you. Thank you for keeping us the #1 podcast out there. Thank you.